It seems like there's a lot up in the air right now. You kind of talked about earlier of or like players potentially going to taking short-term contracts being more like the NBA, and I wonder if this is maybe the year where things start to change because Connor McDavid hasn't signed a contract yet, and there's rumors that he might take like a short-term contract. But we've heard everything. He might sign between 2 or 8 years. I just always think of the Mike Matheson thing. We originally wanted to do 2 years, 4 years. Sure, we can do that. 6 years now. Let's go 8. Make him a Panther for life. Kirill Kaprizov hasn't signed either, and no, I think this will get done. I think Jack Eichel will extend in Vegas. I think that's the most likely. And also, like, could Sidney Crosby be traded? I don't know. But where do you want to start off with that? We want to start off with the best player in the world not being signed yet.
Yeah, I can't believe Kaiser wasn't signed till like 2 weeks ago either. It's so crazy. But
that's good. That's
yeah,
good.
sure, we can talk about it. He could talk about how he did an interview where he basically pulled a Mitch Marner and was like, yeah, I'm really excited for the 25-26 season. Not giving you any commitment. And I'm starting to think this is a player that I realize this is worth.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Because I don't give a shit what anyone says about making back-to-back cup finals. He got further away last year. And the team is not getting closer. Yeah, haven't won, and they're not getting closer. And he has the potential to slot into a lineup that is begging for a 1C, or maybe has a 1C and is going to move him out so they can get him. And completely revamp it. You look at players who've done it time and time again. I mean, hell, the number 2 pick in his class did it. So that has to mean something. The number 4 pick in his class might do it this year too, in terms of winning a cup after doing it.
Both in Vegas.
Matthew Tkachuk did it. Just the new president. Yeah, sometimes it turns into John Tavares where you don't win a cup for 7 years with the team, but there's going to be 31 teams looking to sign him if he even gets close to that. And how do you make the money work? How? And you're going to look back on this, and the more you think about the fact that he might not be there anymore, you just look back and think, and you have to look in context, obviously, because 2018 is a lot different than 2025 in terms of the salary cap. So when Draisaitl and McDavid are making that $21 million, I want to say, combined, that was a lot. And people were like, that's pretty steep. You know, looking back on it, you could have made it work. You could have made something shake. This is years of failure by multiple regimes. The Oilers have no one to blame but themselves in terms of ownership. Blame all the GMs you want. Blame Stan Bowman. I can't believe I'm going to defend the idiot, but you can blame Stan Bowman all you want. He got here as the life preserver to potentially save him. And he hasn't done – he gave Trent Frederick an 8-year deal, and he bridged to Bouchard. Congrats. And he paid Draisaitl like $6 million more than he was getting paid. I would take the deal too.
But
I'm not saying he's not, but it's just the toughest decisions now. And from every sound of it, like, yeah, McDavid doesn't need to sign anytime soon, but I promise you, if he's not signed by the Olympics, it's going to be a scary time. Because we saw with Marner last year with the Four Nations.
Yeah.
He went there and started asking. His wife started asking too. Like, this is how the league works. He's going to be in a locker room with Colorado in his ear, with Toronto in his ear,
Florida,
Vegas, Florida, Dallas. I mean, the names go on and on and on. He's going to get to hear all these different perspectives on where he could go. And my brain immediately goes to somewhere like the Rangers, and he just slots himself right in. And the Rangers are a better team on paper than the Oilers, even with the tremendous losses they've had over the last couple of years.
They have a goalie and a defense, so
exactly. They have the one thing he's never had in his career, which is a goalie. I don't know, man. The more time goes by, the more I think Connor McDavid's walking on July 1st, and we're going to have the stupidest free agency because his agent's going to come out and say, well, he's going to take 4 to 5 days to sign, guys. We're not going to the cottages yet. No, but seriously, it's setting up to be the biggest free agent in NHL history. And It's crazy because the Oilers have gotten very close the last 2 years, but you just look at
no
some of the
scar.
decisions they made. Exactly. You look at some of the decisions they made, and McDavid's probably just sitting there years of watching this team just fumble draft picks, fumble trades, fumble getting him a goalie, fumble getting him a winger, for God's sake. Like, yeah, they got a Milan Lucic. Like, anyone with a brain could have saw him falling off a cliff at some point in that 7-year deal. I don't know. Like, I find it very, in my head, I find it very hard to see him re-signing, especially when his line mates at camp are Mangiapane and Philip Tomaszek.
Not even
Nice.
Eichel? That's crazy.
Not even Eichel. Maybe Eichel's with Leo Dry. I have no fucking idea. Jesus. Yeah, not looking good, though. Pretty grim in Edmonton. No Ben.
The thing is with the Oilers, like I still think they're gonna be fine this year. I think there is a bit of a more like of a boomer bust aspect to them because of like they've definitely made their team younger. Whether that's made them better, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But
Blackhawks made their
even
team
if you
younger once
think,
upon a time.
yeah, and even if those wingers do make them better, your goaltenders are still Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard. And I've said this so many times, like goalies, you can just shuffle them around until you find a goalie that works for you. Colorado did it last year, completely remade their goaltending. Now they have Blackwood and Wedgwood, and they were like above average goalies for them. And that's the thing with the Oilers. It's never been surround them with like the absolute best elite talent, whether that's goaltending, defense, or forwards. It's just get them some decent help. And yeah, it's a decade plus of incompetence from multiple regimes. And I really did think like Connor McDavid, the other okay Connor at hockey, I guess, would sign just because the NHL is boring. And usually that's what they do. And Connor McDavid will just like subject himself to more torture, a little bit of a Stockholm syndrome where he signs an 8-year extension and just continues to be miserable. Edmonton come close but not get it done. But yeah, I think it's a good thing that a player like Connor McDavid's level is realizing, oh, I have all the power here. I don't have to sign and play for this team. Like, I still think this team could make the Stanley Cup Finals for a third year in a row, but I just, as long as they have those goaltending, I don't think they're going to get the extra step. And I almost think like Connor McDavid is just like, he's not signing because the goaltending hasn't switched. That's what I think. Like, money is never going to be an issue, and same with term. Like, he can get whatever he wants wherever he wants to go. Like, teams should break the CBA to sign Connor McDavid. I remember, I think it was 2010 when Lou Lamoriello acquired Ilya Kovalchuk from Atlanta. That's how long ago that was for the Devils. He offered him a 17-year contract and broke CBA rules. Like, I think teams are going to try to do that if Connor McDavid reaches the open market, and I feel it's going to have a domino effect. If Connor McDavid goes to the open market, I think a Kirill Kaprizov is going to go to the open market. But if McDavid inevitably ends up extending, then I think Kirill Kaprizov is going to extend as well. But right now, I'm kind of more in the middle ground. I think Bouchard signed a 4-year extension. I think McDavid's going to do the same. Like, sign me up as long as Bouchard, and if we can't then get a cup, I'm going to walk to free agency when I'm like 32, 33, and then cash in for one more big contract. 2-year contract, yeah, I could see that too.
Take it into 30. If he even signs. Every day goes by, the more I lean towards he's not signing. But
yeah, I definitely agree with that because I was just like, again, he's gonna sign and just be even more miserable. Yeah, but the more time goes on and we're getting in the training camp, and Stan Bowman was like, "Oh, we haven't even offered him a contract or really exchanged numbers." Yeah, the more and more likely that I feel like it is gonna happen. And like being in Edmonton, it'll suck. I want to see the Oilers win a cup, but also again, just gross incompetency and just being a hockey fan. It'd be so awesome to see a player of that caliber hit the open market because we've never seen that before in the sport.
Never. And Connor, breaking news, you can get a heated driveway anywhere else. It's actually just living in the heat. It's a crazy concept, but a lot of people have started, going in on it. And here's the best part: they don't tax you. So, yeah, you might
not even need a heated driveway, and if you're in Vegas or Florida.
Exactly.
probably won't.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, like if every team, all other 31 teams should look at signing Connor McDavid, obviously, if you make it to the open market. So should the Blackhawks. Yeah, again, just break the CBA, go to 10 years, give them like 25 million per dollars. Just let's break some records here. That's what you should do for a player of that talent.
Yeah, I mean, just someone's got to break the bank regardless for him. The money is not the point. The point is,
He wants to win.
What does Connor want? And I think Connor wants to win a Stanley Cup more than anything right now.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I remember we did a podcast, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and I think it was early 2022. We had Julian McKenzie on. I remember talking about the Blackhawks are going to trade Taves and Kane, and he was like, what? And then they ended up, Kane got traded a year later, and then Taves walked in free agency, even though he came back to play in Winnipeg. But another thing was we brought up, what are the odds Connor McDavid gets traded? Because I remember that was when they still had Dave Tippett as their head coach, and they weren't doing so well, and he got
Dave Tippett.
Yeah, that's how long ago that was. So maybe that'll finally come to fruition. Connor McDavid goes to the Rangers.
Yeah. I just seeing McDavid in any jersey is going to melt my brain. So just we'll wait for that day to come. Clearly, he's going to go to Montreal because Crosby's going to already be there, and then they'll get Kaprizov too. It'll be crazy.
Yeah.
They're going to trade Crosby for Kirby Dach straight up.
Oh, man. Let's go on to Kirill Kaprizov because he also hasn't signed, and supposedly he rejected a contract that would have made him not only the highest paid winger in NHL history, but just the highest paid player in NHL history regardless. First things first, do you think Kirill Kaprizov would be worth that money, 128 over 8? Would you pay him $16 million a year? My first thought is that's a lot of money for a winger.
You're going to hate my answer. For the Blackhawks?
Well, obviously, if the Blackhawks, absolutely, yes.
But but the Blackhawks are a team where it makes the most sense. Because at most, you're paying Bedard 12 and a half. And everyone else is going to be under 10. It's the only kind of type of team that would make sense for that. Unless you're the Wild, and you will literally lose your whole franchise if you do that.
Oh, they would have to go into a rebuild immediately. And does Kirill Kaprizov has some kind of movement clause? I would guess he does.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm going to look that up.
Because that was that first deal he signed right after his rookie year. I don't think maybe.
Yeah, he has a no movement clause this year, so he holds all the cards.
Minnesota. Maybe Mark Lazarus is actually just fucking Paul Atreides. We just didn't know. At least I know that
picture. They hated him because they rejected his message. Kirill Kaprizov is going to Chicago. Shut up!
Bro, he would fucking put the team over the top. He put any team over the top. I mean, I think it's... Here's my thing. I want to say it's more likely he gets the free agency than McDavid. But, yeah, I do want to say that because if he actually declined that deal, he doesn't want to be in Minnesota. Money's not the reason he's...
Or he just wants a fuck ton of money, and that would be good enough for him.
I mean, Kovalchuk did it once upon a time, but I don't know, man. I think that sounds like someone who doesn't want to be there. If you're turning down that much money, you're having that much success there in terms of offensive production. It's a guy who's been on pace for 100 points since COVID, basically.
Yeah, he's been a superstar ever since he's entered the NHL.
And he holds all the cards once again, has earned every right to. He's the only reason Minnesota makes the playoffs, period, any year. And they missed half the year last year. And clearly we saw the fall off in Minnesota when that happened. Minnesota was one of the best teams in the West before he got hurt. We've seen a player like this hit the market before. Panarin's done it. Panarin has never hit the point totals that this has happened.
They have the same agents.
Exactly. Same. Kaprizov's a little younger. Then when Panarin, he might be the same age as when Panarin hit.
No, I think they're the same age
He's
because he'll
28.
be 28, and I think Panarin.
Yep, he'll be
He
the
was
same
either
age.
27, about to turn 28.
Yeah,
so
so this
basically
is like
same
Panarin.
age, yeah.
It's the modern day Panarin. And Panarin was not re-signing in Columbus. We knew that from the get-go.
No.
And Panarin turned down a lot of money to not sign in Columbus. And guess what? The money was there. Money was there from 3 different teams, clearly, when he signed with the Rangers. And he took less to sign with the Rangers. So when it comes to something like this, you're going to get a Scrooge McDuck amount of money. When you're getting $100 million, you might want to be happy when you're living while you're making it. Like, because no money in the world is going to give you happiness. Like, I hate to break it to a lot of people. Yeah, some people, money might bring you happiness. I promise you, for a lot of people that make that much money, it doesn't bring them happiness. And it's because they don't do they're not. Johnny Gaudreau, God bless him before he passed, was a perfect example, man. It wasn't about the money with Calgary. It wasn't about the money with. He wanted to be closer to family. He wanted to be closer to home. Kaprizov, like the places he's naming have big Russian footprints. Like it could be a cultural thing too. Want to be closer to people that you're comfortable with. Like there's no reason a shit ton of Russians used to go to Miami all the time and go to the Panthers. There's a reason a lot go to New York. There's a reason a good amount have gone to Chicago over the years. Like it matters, man. So it's like once again, it's a guy who holds all of his cards, and if it's such a pointing fingers game when that number leaked because like Guerin comes out the day after and Kaprizov talks about it, and no one's gonna say they did it, right? If you had to guess, it's probably an agent. You know, agent's gonna get their nut off this.
Yeah.
Shout out South Park, but God, there has to be some truth to that. And if he turned down that much money, there's something deeper than that, in my opinion. Something deeper than just the face value of the money.
Yeah, I just think it's another guy who realizes, oh, this team is not close to winning a Stanley Cup.
Nope. They don't have a number 1 center. They don't have a number 2 center. Actually, they do. Joel Eriksson.
And any good centers, they like. I don't know. Like, obviously, Marco Rossi isn't the same level of player as Kirill Kaprizov, and I don't even think they play together that much. But I'm just like, what are the Wild trying to do? Because Marco Rossi, they were like, oh, we want to trade him. Actually, no, just kidding. We're going to keep him. I don't know. If I'm Kirill Kaprizov and I see that, and your best you can do for centers, Marco Rossi and Joel Eriksson, as much as I like them, they
in the
really
5 years I've been there, like
never been past the first round.
They've drafted some great players. Matt Boldy, great. Like Brock Faber, they traded for him. Great trade. No center. His best center was Brian Hartman, who's not even a center. Like these are legitimate problems with this roster construction, and it goes right back to Bill Guerin. Bill Guerin is no one to be mad at but himself if he loses Kirill Kaprizov. Just like the only person that has like the Oilers management can only be mad at themselves, and ownership can only be mad at themselves. This is all on Bill Guerin if they lose Kaprizov, in my opinion. You had 5 years to find a number 1 center, and newsflash, they were out there. Jack Eichel was definitely out there for the taking, and you did not make a move for him. Like, I know I'm missing a couple others, but that one immediately comes to mind because they were sniffing around him at one point. They didn't make a move. JT Miller. Elias Pettersson. Like, JT Miller is one of the ones that comes to mind immediately because he would be perfect.
New captain, JT Miller.
Yeah, new captain, JT Miller. How about that? Oh, gosh, I'm just thinking of all these players that have been traded, and it's just like you couldn't throw your name in the hat once. But don't worry, guys. They drafted Z Boyum, so they're going to be great. Like, I love the not to bring it back to the Hawks, but I love the idea of building through the back end. Building through the back end doesn't matter if you can't score goals, especially down the middle. How many I can't remember the last time I've seen a team win a Stanley Cup without at least 2 quality centers. You know what I mean? I'm not saying 2 number 1 centers, but like 2 second-line centers, bare minimum. But every team since, God, I don't even know.
At least.
Dude, probably since I'd probably even throw O'Reilly as a 1C. So, like, it just hasn't happened. Like, you need a 1C. You need a 1C to win the Stanley Cup. I think we've made this point time and time again. when Bedard and all these guys were coming around. Like Barkov, Eichel, Point, Backstrom, like you name it, O'Reilly, Taves, Kopitar, like Crosby. I mean, like,
Happy retirement, by the way, for Kopitar.
I thought you were about to say happy retirement for Crosby. I was going to start laughing. But yeah, hell of a career for
No,
Kopitar.
he needs to play Montreal first.
Gonna have his final matchup versus Taves. That should be fun. But
yeah.
What was I gonna say? It's just all these teams have had a 1C when they've won. And the common denominator with the Wild, with all these teams, they never have a 1C. And
they never have in their franchise history. Really.
I know you love Marco Rossi, and I think he's a great player too, but Anton Lundell
he's best suited for a 2C on a cup winning team or contender at least.
I just think like if this team had Anton Lundell, we're probably looking at him a little different in terms of. I'm not saying Anton Lundell's a 1C, but he has the potential to put up 70 plus points.
Not Ryan,
and he can play defense. And him and Eriksson, that give you depth down the middle, which is the thing this team severely lacks. Like when the Blues won their cup, yeah, Ryan O'Reilly wasn't a world beater 1C, but he was a damn good defensive one. And then they had Braden Shen, and they had Tyler Bozak, and they had all these centers down the middle to help them. The Wild do not have that, even with this. They have no one to blame with themselves. I'm going in circles, but that's what it comes down to. And I can't get over it. If you turn down that much money, he doesn't want to be there. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Yeah. And
you have to trade him if that's the case. Sorry. Last point. You have to
immediately. Yeah, and that would immediately put you into a rebuild. Like you're not going to be a good team if Kaprizov. Like you can't even keep up the mediocrity that Minnesota has done seemingly like throughout their history, because they've never been a bad team, but they have never ever been a good enough team to go on a deep playoff run. They have never won a game past the second round. They have not gone past the first round with Kirill Kaprizov in the 5 years that you've had him. And there's precedent in Minnesota Wild history of them losing a star winger. Marian Gaborik hit the market, and guess where he went? Went to the New York Rangers. Not saying that's going to happen with Kaprizov, but like exactly. But I would say just with Artemi Panarin having the same agent as Kirill Kaprizov, I think if Kaprizov does hit the open market, the Rangers are going to be a team. But if we're just looking, like if he clearly says he doesn't want to be in Minnesota, you got to trade him as quickly as you can. You're going to be a rebuilding team. You're going to have to get back futures. And
he controls all the power, though. He's got to know who. You got to ask him where he wants to go. And then the team that gets him, you better hope to God they have something to give. Like, the Blackhawks got so lucky that Florida gave him Spencer Knight, because they could have got taken to the fucking coals in a Seth Jones trade.
Oh, Bill Zito was being, like, for as good as a GM he is, like, I think that was a
charity move.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel teams just love Bill Zito because, like, he doesn't ever outright fleece anyone, but he makes such good trades because he always gets the best player. Like Seth Jones, he could have just said "fuck off," take a third, and retain like $3 million on them. But it was like, no, we'll throw you a bone. We'll give you Spencer Knight in the first, and same with Brad Marchand. Like, they could have just been like, no, we want a third or fourth for Brad Marchand. But they're like, I'm pretty sure you can get a conditional first round pick if he plays in this amount of games, and we reach the conference final, which all that happens. So like, I think that's why Bill Zito is like universally respected. He makes so many good trades, but he's also not like actively fucking other GMs over.
Yeah, that is a good point. And Florida is a team that Kaprizov might want to go to before the deadline, and
that would break everyone. If he went to Florida. I don't even know what Florida would have to give, but also if he wants to go there, he's going to go there. So
yeah. And if he extends there, then I don't know what piece you get back. I'd imagine it's Lundell. But
they'd be lucky to get Lundell. Like, I'm thinking maybe Samoskevich. You'd be lucky enough to get
like it's salary cap at that point. Like, you got to make it work.
I guess so. Yeah, no, that is.
Kaprizov's making 9.5, and if he extends, they got to get money off the books. Fuck, if you get Verhaeghe for him, you suck. You suck so much. Like, you suck so much. I already see it in my head. This is the worst. It's going to be Verhaeghe, Samoskevich, and like a 2029 first-round pick, unprotected. Like,
okay, 2030. 2030 first as well.
But he has every right to do so. He's got a no move. So we'll see. But God, if he makes it to free agency, the Hawks should just give him that contract.
I think regardless, the Hawks should be monitoring Kirill Kaprizov again. So should 31 other teams. Like, and the thing is, again, if he wants to go to Chicago, like I don't think the Blackhawks would have to give up as much as we're thinking. Like,
if he wants to
I
go
think
to Chicago, like just let him go to free agency because he holds all the cards. If he wants to go to Chicago, he just doesn't get traded and walks like Tavares.
I guess so,
Just
but
saying.
also like if I had like a guaranteed shot at Kaprizov and to get him in a trade, I would do that, opposed as maybe taking the risk of him going to free agency. But I feel like if we are constructing a trade, Kirill Kaprizov to Chicago, like I don't think it's that much, but you're probably gonna have to give up an Anton Frundell or an Artem Levshunov. I don't think both, but like probably Anton Frundell and like I don't know Kevin Korchinski or one of their left-handed defensemen not named Alec Vlasic, because I just don't think you're trading Rinzel and Levshunov alongside Frundell, or you are trading Levshunov and then maybe you're giving them like Oliver Moore or something. Like I don't think you're giving them two of your draft picks that have gone the top three the last couple of years. Like I don't think it would be as much as we think it would be. But yeah, if he hits the open market, the Blackhawks can, like, Kirill Kaprizov can name his money, and the Blackhawks should be able to sign him to that. But yeah, if I'm given the option, like, oh, here's a trade, let's make it go through, let's give him 8 years, and he'll still be good throughout those 8 years, I'm doing it. And anyone being like, Kirill Kaprizov doesn't match the timeline of the Blackhawks. Artemi Panarin was a little older when he joined the Rangers, like again, 27, 28. If you're signing him for 8 years, you're taking him till 35, 36. I think Kirill Kaprizov and Panarin are very similar, and Panarin has remained productive into his mid-30s, and I don't see any reason for Kaprizov to do that. You want to know who was like 10 years older than Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane when he signed Chicago? Marian Hossa. And Kirill Kaprizov is like 8 years older than Frank.
He would fit the Hossa part of the timeline, especially if the Hawks take a step this year. I think any free agency acquisition would fit that. But like you said, I feel like a high-scoring winger like that, it's very rare you see him fall off a cliff. Even you look at a Huberdeau, and Kaprizov is a completely different player than Huberdeau. Like, he is so dynamic with the puck. His speed. The only thing that's concerning with Kaprizov is injuries.
Yeah.
He has had injuries a lot. His health is a concern.
Only played 55 games this year.
It's worth the money, though. It's worth the money. Like, you can't – I won't hear an argument of why they shouldn't throw the money at him. For any team, honestly.
Yeah.
He could put any team over the top. Like, if he went to the Kraken, holy shit. Like, one of those centers is popping off on his wing. That'd be the best – Beniers would be the best center he's ever played with. Mm-hmm. That's not saying a lot.
I feel the funny thing is, like, yeah, Beniers or Ryder. You can even argue Stevenson
or Cat,
like or Jake O'Brien that is coming
up. Yeah, all these centers, and they'll just throw Kaprizov in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying he can make any team better. So, it'd be funny if he went to like LA.
He would fit well. Oh my God, Byfield and Kaprizov.
Nasty. It's like, all right, Kopitar era is over. Kaprizov era starts now. It's almost as good as the Carey Price era in San Jose.
Are you a good team? No, but we have hype moments in Aura and sleepovers.
And we try to rob teams of President's trophies.
What even is that? 2015.
They put up a billboard for something that they didn't win.
Yeah.
Or a banner, whatever.
At least the Predators actually whether how good it was, at least they actually put up for the right thing and not the wrong thing. You know, they're not robbing other people. They're not robbing the 2015 and 16 Washington Capitals.
Oh God, because you definitely don't want to take anything from that team.
No. I don't know. Do you have anything more to add to the Kaprizov comment? Like, who do you think out of McDavid and Kaprizov is more likely to hit the market? Because I'm of the mind
Kaprizov.
Yeah, I definitely think he's the most likely to be traded. Like, McDavid's not getting traded. He's either
they'll walk McDavid to the grave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unfortunately, but Because you just don't want a Connor McDavid trade. I think you would get more credit from the
Hot
fan base
take.
if you were trying to sign him to the last hour than to fucking throw in the towel after the Olympics. Because that would be what it was. You'd end the Olympics and be like, well, we're trading him. So
After trading him to Vegas. No.
I don't know how you can. I don't know how you can explain that to the fan base. You know what I mean?
No,
I think you can explain a Kaprizov trade easier to the Wild than you could a McDavid trade to the Oilers.
I just think everyone's going to be waiting on Connor McDavid because I just think he holds the cards on account of being the best player in the NHL and he hasn't signed yet. I just think whether
I wouldn't sign till the best player in the world signs. He could revamp.
Exactly.
McDavid's going to revamp the market regardless of what he signs.
Mm-hmm.
He could sign 2 years, 17 mil, for God's sake. And no one would bat an eye.
No. Do whatever he wants. He's Connor McDavid. Like, he could take 1 year deals and be like, yeah, that's fine. He could, or he could take 7 or 8 years and be like, yeah, that's fine. It's Connor McDavid.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants. He's the best player in the world.